Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty interesting. A floating aquatic plant, Phyllanthus Fluitans.
Mm-hmm. Also known as red foot floater. Sounds intriguing.
It does. And what we're working from here are some notes, some observations from a fish-keeping enthusiast who's trying it out.
Right, so real-world experience, not just textbook stuff.
Exactly. So if you're maybe looking for ideas for your own setup or just curious about aquatic plants, this should give you a quick overview.
Yeah, a quick look at what makes this one tick based on these initial observations.
Our mission basically is to just unpack its key features and see what this person is noticing so far.
And what I find interesting right away is that it's being put in with some, very common floaters, Common Salvinia and Duckweed.
Ah, okay. It's like seeing how the new kid fits in.
Sort of, yeah. It's a little mini ecosystem comparison happening.
Okay, let's talk about looks first, because this plant apparently has some real visual potential.
Right. The notes mention that with strong light, they specifically say like 6 to 8 hours of sunlight.
Which is quite a bit.
It is. But under those conditions, the leaves can apparently turn these quite striking red or brownish colors.
Wow. Okay, so not just green. Any idea why that happens? Biologically, I mean.
Well, it's likely a response to the highlight. Plants often produce extra pigments, anthocyanins maybe, under intense light. It could be a kind of sunscreen, or perhaps related to photosynthesis efficiency.
Huh. So the color change tells you something about its environment.
It's a visible reaction, yeah. Shows it's interacting with the light levels.
And the name? Redfoot floater? I'm guessing that's pretty literal.
Seems like it. The observer specifically calls out the roots, says they're vibrantly red.
That's really unusual for floating plant roots, isn't it? Usually they're whitish or brownish.
It is quite distinctive. Most floating plant roots are mainly for nutrient uptake, maybe some stability. These red pigments, well, you wonder if they serve another function. Maybe something to do with microbes near the roots. It's just speculation, though.
Okay, so context. Where is this actually happening? The notes say outdoor ponds.
Yeah, alongside that Salvinia and Duckweed we mentioned, familiar faces in the floating plant world.
So it's like a little competition trial almost.
You could see it that way. How does it compete for space, for nutrients, light, compared to these really established fast-growing plants, especially outdoors?
And that seems to be exactly what the observer's watching. They're focused on acclimation, how well it adjusts initially.
Which is always key when you move a plant.
Right. And then propagation. How quickly does it start to spread, to multiply in this specific setting?
Yeah, will it take off? Will it struggle? Will the duckweed just swamp it? Those are the questions.
That initial adjustment period, the acclimation, that's pretty critical, right? Water parameters, temperature fluctuations outdoors.
Definitely. It needs to settle in. And then, yeah, how fast it grows tells you if it's found its groove, if it likes the resources available.
Now, there is a little note of caution here from the observer. They mentioned that the conditions right now might be less optimal. So that striking red or brown leaf color we talked about, it might not be fully showing yet.
That makes sense. Environmental factors are huge. A plant has its genetic potential, but the environment dictates how much that potential gets expressed. Less light, different nutrient levels, temperature, it all affects the look.
So what we see now might just be phase one.
Could be. As conditions change, maybe warmer weather or more consistent sun, those richer colors might develop. It's something to keep watching.
Okay, so let's quickly sum up. We've got Phyllanthus fluitans, the redfoot floater, visually interesting, potential for red or brown leaves in good light, and these definitely striking red roots.
Yep. And it's being watched right now in an outdoor pond setting, alongside some common competitors.
With the big questions being, how well does it adapt, and how fast does it grow?
Exactly. And that whole situation, it brings up a wider thought for you, the listener. When you introduce any new species into an environment, even a small pond or an aquarium, what are all the factors, maybe even ones we don't immediately see, that determine if it thrives or fails? And what knock-on effects could that introduction have on the existing balance?
Right. It's a reminder that even small changes in these little water worlds can have bigger implications. Food for thought.